Cedric Maxwell podcast
is brought to you by Prizepicks and the Gametime app.
All right, it's another episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast. See you, Cedric Maxwell. I am Josue Pavone. Man, we got towards the end of the regular season. I wanted to have one of these episodes before things get serious with the postseason, the playoffs, and all that. So I figured it's a good time to do it. And man, this episode we're doing lines we used to hear growing up. Right, lines you would hear from mom and dad. The ones that their go-to lines, right? The ones that they used to always lean on, and you feel like, man, you look back on it now and you're like, man, that was one of their greatest hits, man. Or that was one of the lines that they used to always they knew just the right time to drop that. And that was
I'm curious to see
it was the line you didn't want to hear either most of the time. Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, I'm curious to see what those lines will be with you. Being from, we're kind of in the same, ethnic situation, but right. You being more Spanish in yours and me being more black in mine, like, one of the things I'd say the first line I used to hate to hear all the time, if you talk to your father, he said, close the door.
Oh man. That means you in trouble, man. Ain't nothing good with that. That ain't a congratulations, right?
No. Not even minimal. Just call you back, call your name, Cedric, come back into the room. Come back here. Yes, sir. Close the door. Yeah. Yeah, so the shit about to jump off now.
What did I do last week? You know about this and that? Yeah, that's a good one.
With things in your mind, man, it's like a speed racer in your head. Like, damn, what I do? I told you the one time he hit me with that was, I was coming up. He was just got back from Vietnam. I think I've told you this story before, but he told me to come back to the room, and it was about fall, a little bit. Your fall had already started, and it said, "Close the door." I'm like, oh, shit, I ain't do it now. He was sitting there in the chair, and he was rubbing this leaf together. He was rubbing this thing together. And he's looking at me. I'm looking at him. I was like,
I remember this one.
What's up? He said, what is this? Rubbing it together. I'm like, my 13-year-old self, I said, a leaf? Not a leaf. Now I'm like, oh, what is it? It's marijuana, and you've been smoking it. I'm like, okay, you come up with.
Hold on, but where did he even find that leaf to
it was
weed?
No, it was a leaf that like somebody would walk in the house, it got stuck to you off of a tree or something.
Right, but I feel like if he found it in some weird area where it seemed like it was being hidden, I could see why he would come to that conclusion. But how do you come up with a leaf and be like, this is weed? I know it.
Dude, that's all he was just accusing me, and I was like, I was just so far away. He might could have got you later on when you were coming up, but for me, I was Mr. Goody Two Shoes. I ain't do nothing.
So how many? Hold on. How many? Dad, I'm serious. Did you have to drop for him to actually start believing you?
I didn't even drop in this serious. I said, Dad. That's the one time I laughed at him. I said, Dad, I don't do that. And I just walked out the room. I said, I didn't even wait for him to say, you did.
I was going to say, you just walked out.
Just at that point, I was just so stunned. It was like, you did what? What did you? Weed. In my mind, I was saying, well, in my mind, I was thinking like, damn, well, why don't you just smoke it then? See what you get out of it.
Yeah, right.
Your highs, what kind of smell. That was the one time I just laughed. I said, Dad, I don't do that. I don't do that. And I just walked out. I walked out the room. I didn't wait for okay. We're gonna go back and forth with this because it was asinine. It was the most asinine thing I'd ever heard from me. Now later on, my son did something with me. I thought it was It was crazy. I think he was living had moved up here, came to Weston, and he had graduated out at Weston High, and he would move back into the city, and he was trying to find some things he was about to do. So I called myself, I'm going to wash his clothes. He has some dirty clothes. And looking at his, go in this dirty clothes bag, and I feel this thing in there was heavy metal. I'm like, what the hell is that? No. And I pull out a damn big ass bong.
What? Is it his pants?
What the hell? And then this is the thing you'll get one day. You just when they think you, I guess they don't when they think you're stupid. My son goes, I said, what is this? I said, it's a bong, right? He said, yeah. I said, where'd you get it from? I mean, give me something brilliant at that point. He said,
I would have been like, it's a sculpture, Dad. This is just something I was doing in school.
This girl gave it to me. She was just walking down the hall, and so she was in school. She was walking down the hall, gave you a bone. Exactly. Fucking exactly. That's what.
Really? Take this bong.
Yeah. Take this bong. I mean, the stupidity which came along with that was the one that just drove me insane. Like, so let me make sure I get this right. So you were walking down the hall, mind your own business. Yeah. And this girl just walked up to you and said, here you go. Take this bong.
Okay, girl, I got you.
He did like this. He said, yeah, that's how it happened. You know what? Let's not even have that conversation. We good.
At least he didn't try to say something else, though. Like, oh, it's some sculpture from school. Oh, it's from ceramics. We're working on something in class.
Well, at least I knew what a bong was because
I know it's good.
I've seen all these shows on TV, and where people. I was rolling in the 60s and the 70s, especially in the 70s, where people would be around, hitting a bong and, doing all that stuff. I was just shocked to see that my son had one in the bag, and then he told me the bullshit that went along with it. That's what we're going here. Okay. All right, Josue, you give me one. Give me one to go to.
All right, I'm gonna go with do you think I was born yesterday? Man, that one was a classic. That one, or whatever age I was, if I was 10 or 12, it was Josue, you don't think I was ever 12 before? Oh, so whatever age that was, that was my pops' go-to, man. That shit. And I used to always be thinking to myself, no, Dad, I know you wasn't born like that. You know what I mean? I know you wasn't just dropped on earth as an adult. I know you was a kid once upon a time.
But here's the beauty about that. In our heritage, you won't send that back though. You won't tell them like you won't. Yeah, you were born. You won't saying that to him. You won't, letting it go.
No. You just gotta just bow your head down and listen. You can't say nothing back to that shit.
I think one of mine. I think my dad's line was he always tell us was a soft head. A hard head makes a soft ass.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
That was his go-to.
Not from my pops, but I've heard that one.
A hard
from
head,
my friends and shit.
Hard head makes a soft ass.
Is that right before you about to catch a whooping or what? He just as like a warning.
Yeah, that wasn't even kind of a warning, but there was something that was coming along with it. He didn't. he wasn't a man like like most mothers. There's a definite disconnect with your mom, especially when you got to be a teenager, where you're going, yeah, okay, Mom. But you still with your pops, it was like that was a completely different scenario that went along with it. You're like, let me think of something. Let me think of something, anything. You remember anything your mom said?
One of my mom's lines was the anything that had to do with like if I did something or I was doing something I wasn't supposed to or whatever, or even if it was something I wasn't like, I was just doing something with my friends. She'd always have to every once in a while just be like, oh, so if your friends decided to jump off a building, would you do it too? Like, oh man, I hated that one.
If you jump off, if your friends jump off a bridge, you're gonna jump with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like if I was like, out before, out past the when the streetlights came on, be like, but mom, I was just with my friend. Oh. So if your friend decided to jump off the street or jump off the bridge, would you do it? No, man. Then what do they got to do with anything? I'm like, all right, fair point.
Yeah, those were classics. I think my dad probably gave them out more, but my mom was more like, yeah, she was just more. I think that the mom's line that you always heard was this: okay, all right, I'm gonna talk to your father.
Oh yeah, yeah. End the discussion right there. Hold on. No, that's it. Okay. Wait till your dad gets home. Wait till your dad was the shit.
Bring that in. I mean, shit. When that
Max, you used to hear the keys jingling, and you knew he was home. You're like,
shit. Man. Oh my God, that clock. Mine was like, I knew he was coming because he was so punctual. It was 5 o'clock on the nose. He drove 40 miles, but 5 o'clock, he come in that door. And it ain't make no, he was coming. So if I'm looking at that clock, I'm just like, it was like, I can't imagine. It's like, you were about to go into the execution chamber because that clock was. And when it got to 5,
it was all quiet. You just sit and look at the clock.
Yeah, that's it. Just here we go. Okay, I guess. Here we go.
Yeah, that's bad funny. Yeah, whenever every once in a while, if you ask for like, if you're passing by a McDonald's or a Burger King or something, hey, Bon, can we get to McDonald's? Be like, you got McDonald's money? Oh man, I hated that line. Hated that. Mom, I got no McDonald's money.
Mine, when you say that, mine be like, we got food at home.
Yeah, even that one. I should say that one too. Yeah.
You got food at home. We ain't going there. That stuff, and this is it. And they're punctuated. They were way before their time. That stuff ain't good for you. You know it ain't good for you. It's not good for you.
It's the same thing. That was always my mom's line too. It's the same thing. No, man, ain't the same.
Your mom cooks so much better hamburger than that, Josue.
You know what I'm talking about, Max, with the 2 pieces of white bread and the thing. We didn't get the burger buns, man. Like I was like, Mom, this ain't McDonald's. This ain't the same. What you mean is the same thing.
Same things. This is the same thing that they have, but it costs you a lot less.
Right. Oh. I give her the fries. Fries are pretty good, especially if there was the crinkled up one. They were frozen, but those weren't that bad. Those you kind of felt like you're getting something similar to McDonald's, but the burgers, nah.
No. Burgers were just a mashed down patty, something
right?
That they had that she put together. But I was probably better because they go putting the onions in and all that. It was I actually liked it better, but I think because you're a kid, you want everything quick at that time.
Oh yeah,
patients aren't. It
was all about the presentation too, the way that shit came out and unwrapped the burger and all that stuff. Oh man. All right. Well, look, this episode, of course, like every episode here, is brought to you by Prizepicks. Download the Prizepicks app. With basketball wrapping up, we got the playoffs around the corner, man. Plenty of action going on right now. Prizepicks, the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prizepicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. That's right, 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prizepicks. And summertime is here, and baseball season is officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prizepicks lineups. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win 100 times your cash today. Prizepicks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports. You can also combine your favorite baseball players with players from basketball, hockey, esports, and much more. Download the Prizepicks app. Use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's the Prizepicks app, of course. Use the promo code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineups. Prizepicks, run your game.
I got one for you. This is when your dad used to bully you, though.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the bullying thing. And he look at you. And he look at you after he said something. He said, and he'll look at you and go, "Oh, so I'm lying?"
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Where you gonna go?
Yo, I didn't say anything, right?
Where you gonna go? Oh, so I'm lying. And look at you like you about to give us you lying. Yeah, no. Let me just, whatever comes, just go ahead and let it, let the smoke come down. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, man. When they in that mode, they're just preaching or lecturing, whatever, you just gotta shake your head and say yeah. Because there's nothing no resistance is gonna work out well.
So who you gonna believe, Josue? Me and your friends.
Yeah, that's another one. Yo, I swear, I'm like, yo, my parents, especially my father, like, yo, you just don't like Friends, man. Like, what the hell? Like, you would think that Friends was an imagination when it came to your parents. They didn't want to hear shit about your damn friends.
Or they hit you with the classic. Here's another one they hit you with. I ain't one of your friends.
Yeah, right. Yeah, my mom. You think I'm one of you? If you said like the slightest thing, you think you're talking to your little friends outside? You think you're talking to who you think you're talking to? I'm your fucking mom. Like, yo, straight up, yo, mom.
That was.
And she'll look at you like she's legit curious. Like, who do you think you're talking to right now?
Okay.
You think you out in the street right now with your little friends?
Yeah.
Like, nah, mom.
And just make them look so bad, though. To your friends look so bad. Like,
right.
Your little friends out there? That's who you're going to go with? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Right. Yo, so because it was just, me and Joel, right? It's just the two of us. Every time, it got to a point where Max, most of the time when the sentence started with Josue, I knew he was talking about Joel. They were like, Josue, Joel, Josue. Like, you knew this. The second one was the one that the message is for. So if you heard your name first, yeah, that ain't for you. That's for Joel. Yo, they got to a point where I knew exactly. Like, by the tone, I knew that's not me. He'd be like, nah, he didn't say me. He said, and then right before my brother would even finish the sentence, you hear the Joel at the end. You're like, motherfucker.
Yeah. They had their own language that they would intimidate you, they bullied you. I mean, all the things that kids right now feel like because or they go to their waist though. You didn't want that. You're like so unbuckling that belt. Oh Lord.
Just that noise.
That noise. Just
what time it is.
Man. How am I gonna get out of this thing? It's like, oh Lord.
Yo, Pops told me one time that back when he was a kid, he hated how it used to be like timed almost. Like, you get in some trouble, right? And my grandfather would be like, all right, tomorrow morning I'll take care of this. The next day. Did you deal with that? Yeah, I can't imagine. Like it was like, I'm mad at you right now, but I ain't gonna take care of you now. I'm gonna do this later. Like, does that happen to you? That's crazy. I was like, man.
My dad was the executioner. Once he said it, he normally followed up, man. He might give you a slight
right, but you got to be in that moment.
But
like,
it wasn't gonna be the next day. I'm gonna get you the next day. It's gonna be it's in an hour frame that you about to, that there's some shit about to jump up. So I'm like, man, it's just saying, those things you just look at and you go, that just ain't right. That's whatever just happened. That ain't right. Or you find that in your parents that are so different, because that was yeah. Because I think a dad also would say, you must say you're talking to your mother. You you going, how do you get through that one? Or they hit you with one. The dad always hit you with this. What'd you say to your mom?
Oh yeah.
And then you just
tap your shoulder or some shit like what'd you say to your mom? Yeah? What'd you say? What's this I hear you told your mom this now? Oh man.
Did I hear? I know it. I didn't hear. I know damn well I didn't hear what I just.
You ever get caught cussing? Did you ever cuss?
No, I never got caught cussing because back during the time I was learning it's like the early '60s. We were so much more respectful than you guys were now. We were.
Not bad.
We were if we were we'd have to be like in a park playing ball, and you'd look around the entire park just to see any adults around. So
make sure there's no parents.
You guys are different. Y'all might have been different. And I hear that sometimes when I think about kids here in Boston, how I remember one time I was on the bus and there was just no respect at all. It's just like right beside them was a woman. It was a woman. I'm like, Then I was thinking in my mind, I was wanting to go say something to him, like, yo, my man, there's a woman here, but you're gonna take it away, and then I'm gonna take it away, and now I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go ballistic. Now I'm thinking,
Yeah, I'll never forget one time I was going to a Red Sox game. It was like a 1 o'clock game or maybe a 12 o'clock, something like that. One of the early joints. And I'm with my friends, and we just, man, like pretty much just saying the exact same thing. It's like we forgot, like we have moved from my boy's apartment and we're in public. So we're on the train and we're, cussing up a storm, saying, man, you this and you that, and like joking around like that. And I'll never forget this older woman. She kind of like turned around and kind of like looked at us, but I didn't think anything of it. So we kind of just keep going over. And then finally we like stopped talking for maybe like 3 seconds. And she just goes, guys, it's Sunday morning. Right in that moment, Max, I felt like, I was like, this is someone's grandmother, man. Like we here cussing up a storm. And I was like, man, you are right. I apologize. And me and my friend was like, we're sorry. Like it really made us think for a second, like, man, we're in public right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain, but I feel like if you were a guy of a certain age, you know what I mean? Like,
do you think, but see, that's the difference. Do you think that could happen today with an older woman on a train like that, approaching some young kids?
I would like to think that we put in the place in the sense to say, okay, man, you're right. Like, we just said every bad word you could think of almost. Like, you don't think so? Man, that's a shame.
I mean, I just think it's a new era. It's a new era because I think they always say this whole thing that in the presence of, what was it? Used to be in the presence of in the presence of grown men, kids used to be afraid. Now, in the presence of kids, grown men are afraid. So it's flipped completely.
Wow, I never thought about that.
And what we talk about our culture and who we are. And we were just so much more respectful to our elders at that time, whereas I don't see that now. I think that the rap game has blown it all up. And, I don't know. I guess the whole thing, like, who was the guy who was on, who did the Super Bowl? Who was he? Kendrick Lamar, is that who it was?
Oh, yeah, Kendrick Lamar, yeah.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar. Like when he was talking about Drake and then got whatever that part, he going, what?
Yeah.
Is that a gunshot? I don't know what was that? You know that kind of stuff. I don't know that kind of stuff. What does that mean?
Yeah, that'd be a little firearm, but it's metaphorically speaking, man.
I don't know. I'm just asking because when he went to it, I thought it was cute the way he said it, but then I had to kind of put in my mind like what was being said, and It's like you said, I'm in the era, you're in the era. You're in the era of all the rappers and all the stuff to go down, and my era is completely different when it comes to that.
Yeah, I just feel like it's more of like a he's gonna take these shots, you know what I mean? But it's not like gunshots. It's just more of a like like a wordplay as to the raps towards Drake. It's a diss song towards Drake. So, but yeah, I mean the way that whole thing blew up too is crazy. Like all over social media, everyone was just like using the beats and doing their own version of it and everything.
Oh my God! Now that I do love.
It was weeks after too. I was like, man,
I love that because I saw somebody doing a Mexican version of it, and they had the ding 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 behind. It was like, what in the world? I mean, just
there was so many of them.
Oh my God! Old people doing it is that I don't know. Maybe the Super Bowl was maybe the halftime show was one of the best. I don't know. But from a standpoint of talking about it,
right?
I mean, is there?
I feel like it was all over the place, especially in terms of influence.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know influence. I don't know what you tell me. What influence? What's the influence?
I mean, the way people were, doing their own versions of it, the way it took over on social media, it was trendy. The walk, you know what I mean? He did, with the what do you call it? Not Like Us, and then the other one, the Mustard track. The track where you see screaming mustard, and then like people doing the walk and everything, and like it was a lot of like people recreating it, Yeah. And I feel like there was a lot of people who weren't even that into Kendrick before that performance,
Yeah, and what that part is true. I see a lot of people do that, and I'm just curious to see what happens. He's coming. He's on tour. I think he's coming to Gillette.
Stadium.
And I know he's coming to Charlotte. I don't think he's coming to OKC anytime soon.
Yeah, nobody comes here, man. we get some comedians. We got Kevin Hart coming soon, but that's about it.
Country Western got to be up in that joint. And tell that for our audience right now, I'm in Boston and Josue lives now in OKC. So I'm sure that it's such a different vibe between the two cities.
Oh, for sure, man.
And how they view things, because basketball there, when you're the only professional game in town, everybody who covers the team, everybody around the team, everybody who does something with the team is famous.
Yeah.
And you get your share of publicity. That isn't like that in a major city because there's so many sports here in this town. I mean, you got football, basketball. I mean, I'm very curious to see what happens right now with the new ownership right now with the Celtics. Mr. Chisholm and him coming in with $6.1 billion and I don't think I'm gonna be around, but I can actually say the Celtics probably will have their own arena. It makes more sense from a financial standpoint that what you can do with that dollar, but where could you put an arena? I mean, just say, well, you're from Boston. Where can you actually put an arena that makes sense? Nobody wants to go out of the city anymore. Well, where can you put one?
I mean, they were talking about doing the stadium over by like the waterfront. Remember, they wanted to do one for the Revolution so that they have their own. I mean, that's the only area I can think of that would have the space, would have the access to the highway right there. You're still in Boston, but outside of that, man, honestly, I would hate to see them move. I don't know, man. Something about that area it's so Boston. It's so North Station, Celtics. Like I would just hate for them to leave that area. So that doesn't happen.
But I mean, from a financial standpoint, this team is going.
You want to own the building, yeah.
I mean, but the Celtics get I think maybe part of the concessions, but they get none of the parking. But as a tenant, though, you don't have to deal with any of the other maintenance issues that go along with the building, the upkeep of the building. The facade, all that stuff you don't have to deal with. So I guess part of it's good, but part of it financially. And when I listen and look at a guy like Steve Ballmer, who is out in LA with the Clippers, who just all of a sudden took $2 billion and said, look, I'm going to build my own joint. And if you can build your own joint in LA, shouldn't you have some room in Boston? Or is it so landlocked here that you think you can never have any room? I'm just saying, from my standpoint, I'm like, where can you get in the city, get into an arena, and then get out as easily as you can do at the Garden? I don't know any other place.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of, man. Like the waterfront, not too far from the airport. But yeah, we'll see. This episode of Cedric Maxwell Podcast also brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, man. There's nothing like seeing live basketball. And with the Celtics, still got a handful of home games, including seeing the Phoenix Suns, which I think is the one that stands out most, man. You don't want to miss out on Gametime, man. Again, it's Garden. It's the home of the champions. It's an atmosphere unlike any other place in the NBA. So right now, I'm telling you, if you haven't already, if you haven't got a chance to see the Celtics this season, this is your chance. All right, make sure you download the Gametime app. They have special features, especially the all-in pricings, which I personally like. It goes, you can go to different shows, concerts, you name it, and you get the upfront. You're getting the best price. Okay, the lowest price guaranteed, or Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. All right, your tickets are also covered. All right, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So don't miss out. All right, download the app. Use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CLNS for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime.
Gametime.
So Max, before we get out of here, man, I just wanted to do a quick update on this whole Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James thing going on, fiasco. I mean, from the last time we talked about it, LeBron hadn't really said anything besides what we saw, what happened in the confrontation. But he recently went on ESPN, kind of talking about it, stating the fact how guys pretend to be like they're his best friends. He talked about Brian Windhorst as well. I mean, where do you fall on this whole thing, man? Because I feel like it was about Bronny, but now it's about Stephen A. Smith questioning LeBron as a father. I didn't take those initial comments like that. Did you? I mean, he did say as a father, but I feel like because of that one line, people are saying, "Oh, you're saying he's a bad father for allowing Bronny into NBA." I didn't see it like that.
No, I mean, LeBron James had an opportunity, and the agenda was about LeBron James and Bronny, but more about LeBron James. It was a tough call because I think that anybody would want to have their son in the league.
Right.
If you're LeBron James, knowing the scrutiny that was going to come along with it, that is when I think I would have been more like, I want to protect my family. I want to protect this young man. Right now, I'm putting him, essentially right now, we're putting him in harm's way because no other team was going to draft him. And you made the Lakers draft him, and then the circus comes to town. But you can't, LeBron is, I love LeBron, but you can't stop the circus. You can't stop the circus. Once you bring it to town, once you bring all the elephants, the peanuts, the popcorn, the Cracker Jacks, the dancing girls, the guys on the flying trapeze, you can't all of a sudden say, okay, look, we're gonna shut this thing down. It's just gonna be church. You gave them permission to do that by having your son in that situation, and that's the thing. The Lakers, there's no way they were gonna take LeBron. They weren't gonna take Bronny unless LeBron said, take my son. Things very simple. Yeah. And then for Stephen A. Smith to say what he said, I don't want you to backtrack. Just stay where you're at, man. Right. Stay in your lane. Whatever you say, just say it. But it's kind of horrific thinking about. And then I think Brian Windhorst kind of was like, seemed like he's seen a ghost when. Did LeBron say something? What did LeBron really say about him that was that bad? Like he pretended to be my friend, or what did he say?
I guess it was more along the lines of like he makes it seem like our relationship is much closer than it is, But I don't know. I never got that sense from Brian Windhorst. I just always looked at it as during his Cleveland days, Brian had like a inside scoop on things around Cleveland because he had known them since they were in high school. You know, like they known each other since high school.
Not the inside scoop on Cleveland. He had the inside scoop on LeBron.
Right, but when he was playing for the Cavs, though, outside of that, I never looked at it as like. Well, I never looked at it as like they're friends. I never thought about that. I still
think that he is cashed in on that relationship, and I believe Perk is cashed in on his relationship with LeBron, and ESPN likes that, and I don't fault those guys for what they do. Because that's a news cycle that they're privy to that the rest of us are. How many of us want to have LeBron as a friend and say, okay, this is what LeBron said,
right?
So
yeah, but man, I can understand if Brian was going up there being like, oh man, well, last summer I was kicking it with LeBron and we were chilling. You know what I mean? Like I never, you never hear him say that.
He does from time to time name drop. You've seen him name drop LeBron many times.
Yeah, I've seen him name drop. I never got the sense of like they're like buddies, like he's over there for Christmas and stuff. Like he's
how would you here's the thing. How would you like somebody to name drop you? If you just put yourself in that position, how would you feel if they name dropped you?
It would depend on the context, but I'd be surprised, especially if it's somebody who I don't consider a close friend of mine, which I don't think this is the case.
Well, if you're a star player, you got to realize that you're open to criticism. Yeah, and everybody's like, as much as people like you, there are a lot of haters out there in this world. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just read recently, I just got a acknowledgement from my fiance telling me about somebody I was dating. And she overheard somebody talk. She was earjacking in Charlotte, heard somebody talking. They were talking to her. She heard my name, and she was like, "Well, who is this girl Kendall that you're dating?" Well, I don't even know.
Who's spilling the beans out there, man?
I don't even know a Kendall, but when people are overhearing things because your notoriety, that sometimes comes along with the job.
Yeah.
Especially if you're LeBron James. If you're one of the top athletes to ever play the game, arguably, is there a greater athlete in the last 20 years than LeBron that he's dominated? Anybody? Give me any sport you want to give me.
My brother, I'm thinking it's Brady, but I don't know. That's about it.
But Brady was a lot more low key.
Yeah, that's true.
Brady was about playing football. LeBron was. Yeah. There were times when LeBron publicized himself. You think like when he went to when the difference between when Tom Brady went down to Tampa and LeBron went down to Miami. When LeBron went to Miami, it was a spectacle. It was like all these stories and and LeBron. And when Tom Brady got down to Tampa to play football, okay, I'm here. I'm gonna play football. Ain't nothing else you're gonna hear about me until you see me with the trophy in my hand. I look like I'm drunk as a skunk. But
yeah, I mean that's true. The fact that I knew about LeBron when I was in middle school is insane. Like he wasn't even in the NBA yet, and people knew about this kid. Like Brady, no one knew about Brady when he was drafted, right? Like he had to.
No, his third round pick.
Like if Bledsoe didn't get hurt, who knows? Like what happens with like how that story unfolds? But yeah. No, I mean the thing is like, okay, I'm with the whole like he's been doing it, for so long, all the criticism for 20 plus years. Now he's starting to kind of show like that resistance. Okay, I respect it, but like I don't know, man. I just feel like did he have it that bad? I mean, the Miami thing, okay, yes, he got ripped into shreds. He was on the grill. You know what I mean? They cooked him all over the media. But man, Max, that was a long time ago, man. Is LeBron outside of the Bronny thing? He hasn't really been cooked like that. No one's really criticizing him like that.
Look, people have very long memories. Look what we're going to be talking about when we talk about Robert Parrish.
Yeah.
Robert Parrish talked about a situation that happened 35 years ago that he never told anybody about. It was him and Larry Bird. Larry Bird about to get in a fight, and Robert Parrish says, Yeah, you know why I didn't get in that? I didn't get in that scuffle. I was like, damn, why? They said because Larry Bird wasn't supportive to me when I went for my contract. And that was like 8, 9, 10 years before that. So you held that animosity that long. So yeah, those things are gonna still be there when you talk about animosity and things that happen.
Yeah, everyone surprised me for sure, man. We'll get into it a lot more in the next episode. But that surprised me. And what Larry said when the Walton deal was about to go down, that surprised me too, man. Do you know about that?
No, I didn't hear what he said.
That when they informed him of the deal, Walton, Max, what do you think of that? He said, let's do it. That surprised you, man. You surprised to hear something like that?
No. No, I think Larry just at that point, Larry had enough of me, and I'd had enough of being in Boston at that particular point. I think that Larry felt that for whatever reason, he felt that I wasn't trying to come back to play. That I didn't, and I think a lot of that has to do, and I blame myself part of it too because of my personality, because I wouldn't mope around. I'm not a moper, Josue. So if I was hurt, I'm a still happy person. A lot of times, what people want to see, if you're hurt, oh, I'm hurt.
Right.
Right. Oh my God, somebody give me some pity on me. Oh my God,
right.
That's not my persona. My persona was still happy, have a good time in life, and it's gonna be all right, and I'll play again. But because of my persona and my thinking, I think that's why I'm sure, positive, that's why we were on a different page when it came to being injured. But that's part of how things go. But we're gonna discuss that. I was just gonna say that'll be a long version. We gotta come back and discuss this one.
That's gonna do it with this episode of the other Cedric Maxwell podcast. You already know, man. Subscribe, share the episodes, do what you gotta do, man. We appreciate the support of all kinds. And like Max said, man, next episode for sure. We'll get into the newest episode of the HBO documentary Celtics City, featuring Cedric Maxwell, Larry Bird, and the classic 80 Celtics squads. We'll get into it, man, next episode. He's Cedric Maxwell. I am Josue Pavone. We'll see you guys then.